First thing first, thank you for purchasing the course. Welcome to Volcano Trading. Before I get into anything else, I want to first just establish up front that if you have questions or anything as you go through the material, please reach out to me. Best way would be claytrader.com, and then just use the contact form, or clay@claytrader.com. That would work too. Just want you to know that I'm here to answer questions. If you're watching this, you've obviously put in the money, the capital to invest into yourself as a trader. So I am all for helping those that are willing to invest into themselves and their education. So please don't be intimidated. Don't think I don't want to help. Just don't ask and send questions saying, hey, should I buy here? That's not really a question. That's just financial advice. And since I'm not a registered financial advisor, I can answer that anyways. But as long as they're legit questions about the course, by all means, please shoot them my way. So this video here will just be an introduction. I can say that I've already recorded the course, so this is the last video I'm doing. And with that, I can say that I'm very pleased, very happy with how the course turned out. We have all sorts of examples. I put a lot of time into it, so I'm very confident that you'll get everything you need and have plenty of examples to go out there, recognize these setups, and then trade the setups according to the process that we will be going over. So let's just hop right in and start to get started with some of this introductory material. So once again, welcome. The agenda item, so the course in general. First, I just want to talk about that throughout the course I will be annoying you. That is probably my number one goal, is to annoy you as we go through the course. If you've taken any of the other courses of mine before, you know where I'm going with that. If not, I'll be sure to get a little bit more into detail on that. The course theme, that'll be the next video that you watch, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about when I say volcano trading. And then another key item for the course, and really just for yourself as a trader, is you need to have the proper attitude. So I'm going to go over the attitude you need for success, and not short-term success, but long-term success. This is definitely a strategy that is designed for over the long term to give you success. It's not one that's gonna win 9 out of 10 times. I don't think that exists out there. However, if you follow the rules of it, you're going to have long-term success, but you need to have the proper attitude for that. And then this strategy is all about psychology. So we're going to go over a video just dedicated to the psychology of the market, and then looking at the psychology of the breakout, and where in this overall kind of scheme of things we're looking to take advantage of how other traders are feeling emotionally and stuff like that. So that'll be a whole video dedicated to that. Then of course we'll go over a video with classification tools. This is going to tell you and teach you what tools you need to recognize the setups and then be able to diagnose the setups, because there's two setups we'll be interested in, and we'll need to be able to determine the difference between the two. So that's what all those tools are over. And then the very important trade management video, that's all about step by step on how to not only find the trades and then wait for them, but also execute and then manage them. So just a very important one. And then we have also case studies where we'll go over example after example. It will be one where I think by the end of them you'll be able to hopefully just know what I'm going to say before I even say it. And then the final video is just going to be one on scanning and building your watch list. The strategy is only so good, but you got to be able to find the trades that you're looking for. So that's what that video will cover. So again, with the annoying thing, my goal is I want you to finish my sentences for me by the time we get to the end of this course. And with that being said, I'm going to be repeating words, concepts, ideas, and just reminding you about things. So you're going to hear many of the same things over and over again. I'm doing that on purpose. I want you to just get annoyed with me with what I'm saying. I mean, why do I want to do this? Well, it's kind of just like I want you to be able to walk and chew gum, just muscle memory, and have it become second nature for you. And the reason I always try to do this is, I can still think back to, when I was in elementary school and all that, and the annoying kids. You just, for whatever reason, you remember things that annoy you. You remember things that are your pet peeves. So I guess another way of putting it, I'm going to try to make a lot of these things a pet peeve, because I just keep saying it over and over again. And if, it may annoy you because it's a pet peeve, but at least you're going to remember what it is. So, the words, concepts, ideas, all that good stuff. I want to turn that into a pet peeve for you, so you can just sit there and know what you're supposed to do without even needing to think about it. It's all about building that muscle memory, because with trading, sometimes you got to be able to think fast on your feet. So in order to do that, it's just got to be second nature for you. So that's why I'm going to try to annoy you. That way, at the end, you'll know what I'm going to say before I say it, and you can totally finish my sentences for me. Now, the whole strategy structure here, it's important that we understand the context and environment that it's going over. So with that, we're going to look at the psychological landscape of the markets. I already hinted at this in a previous slide, but this is important because it's going to show us where the strategy is to be used. If we're using the strategy in the wrong parts of the psychological landscape, we're going to get ourselves in trouble. I mean, it still may work out, but in the long term, it's not going to work out as much as it should in order to, have our portfolios grow. So it needs to be one where we have it in a certain area of the market where people are feeling with their emotions a certain way. And the other reason this is important is it's going to give you confidence on why it works. If you understand the dynamics, understand what's going on around you and how other people are feeling and where their emotional state is, it's going to give you that much more confidence on why you need to be pulling the trigger here, buying shares here, locking in profits there. Everything is just going to make more sense to you. So that's why establishing the overall context and environment is very important. And then, of course, again, if you've taken any of my other courses, you know what I'm talking about when I say it's time to become a ninja. If you want the long-term portfolio growth and success, you have to be a ninja. You have to be disciplined, and I'll be talking plenty about that. So I'll leave that at that for for right now. But just know this strategy is only as good as the discipline you're willing to exert towards it. And then are there going to be massive winners every single time? There's not, but that's again where the winning attitude kind of comes into play, and why over the long term the strategy it'll work itself out. However, if you're looking for a grand slam, huge hit every single time, I'll tell you right now, you're going to be sorely disappointed in that. So you need to get your perspectives in line with reality, because there's no such thing as a strategy that's going to hit some huge home run every single trade. So when we go over the strategy, I've broken it down into 4 process steps. The first one is the hunt, and this is where we'll talk about how we find our Volcano setups and all the technical requirements that are needed. And then the stalk, this is just where we're waiting for the buy signal for the Volcano to see is it going to erupt or not. Then if it does start to erupt, we need to form a position. So we're going to go over the entry phase of getting our shares. And then finally the ninja, which is all about managing the trade properly for the long-term portfolio growth. So one stage is not more important than the other, but I will say the ninja in managing the trade is one where if you don't take it seriously, then the strategy just isn't going to work out, because you may not be losing money, but your portfolio is just going to stay flatline, and with that there's no point in that. So the ninja does have the aspects where you need to implement those in order for the long term everything to work out in your favor. And then one of the final videos will be where we put on our hard hat and go to build our watch list. And this is where we're going to locate the charts that fit the requirements. I'll go over the websites that you should use, and I should add that they are free, so that's always a nice little bonus. The attributes that you need to use for judging, you'll know all those. And then if you're looking for some exciting, in-depth and highly sophisticated scanning procedure, that's just not going to happen. I think you'll be pretty pleased to see just what needs to happen for scanning. It's very simple. If you've taken the trampoline trading course, you know that one is there's some work to be done. I mean, you can certainly find some great setups, but it's pretty, I don't want to say difficult, but there's quite a few steps to it, and you got to consider multiple things. Whereas this one, it's very, very straightforward. So when we get to that phase, I think you'll see and you'll be pleased that, okay, wow, this is quite almost anticlimactic, because there's not that much to it, which is the goal. Keeping things as simple as possible is always good. And then finally, I'll be talking and making this point just numerous times, but I will definitely be trying to annoy you and turn this into a pet peeve. But I want you to have the understanding and mindset that the world does revolve around you. I know most times in life this outlook would be, people would be like, well, how selfish can that person be? That's a pretty terrible attitude to have, but that's not the case when it comes to trading. You want to have the world around you. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what are your goals and objectives? And your answer is going to determine how you will apply the strategy to your personal trading. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways to do it. If you're looking to get just short, quick little profits, then it sounds to me like you're some sort of day trader. So you're going to be applying the strategy towards day trading perspective. If you're looking for longer term gains, medium term gains, then you're probably going to be taking more of a swing trader approach. So you need to determine what your goals and strategies are. And trading is all about the personality and your personal risk tolerance. So if you don't feel comfortable with something, then move on or adjust it to make it fit your comfort, the zone that you're comfortable in. So I'll talk more about this, but you know, bending the rules is okay as long as you don't break them, and we need to stay on the ninja pathway, which I'll also talk more about. So the strategy has guidelines, but the guidelines can be kind of wiggled around in, but you still need to follow the general guidelines. But with this, just know that, you know, I love this picture over here. That is you, and here's the world going around you. In trading, it's totally fine, and it's a requirement to have that attitude, because if you're not comfortable with it, the psychology of the market is just going to rip you apart. You're going to get too antsy and nervous, and it's just not going to work out. So locate your comfort zone and then stick with that. And as long as you stay within the general guidelines of the strategy, you know, you'll find something that can work for you. So just keep this slide in mind and know that there's no right way to do it. You don't have to trade it the exact same way I do. It's just a matter of finding whatever you're good with, and whatever is not going to keep you up at night, and whatever's, you know, not going to give you those gray hairs. So that is the introduction now. So we will start on and you know, start slogging our way here through the course.